This is a screencast of the reading for lesson 1.10, Wanted a Just Right Government. We are not using our book today. We're using a different type of reading, so I wanted to make sure that you could listen to it if you wanted to. So go ahead and pull this up, just like I have right now. Wanted a Just Right Government. Independent citizens seek awesome government. When the American colonists gained their independence from the British after the Revolutionary War, the Americans were faced with a problem. What kind of government should they have? They'd lived for years under British rule, and they had lots of complaints. Now they would create a government from scratch, and they had a few requirements. If you look to our right here, it says, independent citizens seek government that has enough power to do its job, doesn't give anyone too much power, considers the needs of the states, lets citizens have a say, and also protects individual rights. So, we were seeking a weak government. Independent citizens seek weak government. Their experience under the heavy-handed British rule left the newly independent Americans a little bit skittish. That means they were nervous. Basically, they wanted a government that couldn't do much. They started by drafting a document called the Articles of Confederation. A confederation is a group of individuals united together for a purpose. In this case, the 13 states that had been British colonies before the war. The Articles of Confederation explained how the 13 states would be governed as one nation. Here's the basics. Each state was independent and had its own government. Each state would send representatives to the Congress of the Confederation, a lawmaking body. Congress was the only branch of government, no president, no courts. In Congress, each state got one vote exactly. A rocky start. On one hand, the Articles of Confederation had qualities that citizens appreciated. Because the Articles did not set up a very strong government, states got to keep their power and their independence. There was no powerful government telling them what to do. Citizens also wanted protection, and the Articles gave Congress the power to create a military to protect all states. However, there were problems. For one thing, the Articles did not give Congress the power to enforce the laws. Congress also had no power to collect taxes to pay for the military. And in order to change the Articles, every single state had to agree to the changes. These and other problems meant that, in general, citizens felt like the relationship or government wasn't working. Lots of differences. With 13 different states, there was no easy solution. Here's why. States had different needs. For example, some states depended on fishing, while others grew mainly crops. States had different sizes. Some states had many, others had few. People had different opinions. Some people feared a central government, while others thought a central government was necessary. The last one was especially troublesome. Many people feared they would lose their freedom if a central government had too much power. Others were tired of the weak government created under the Articles of Confederation and felt like nothing would ever get done if no one was in charge. Compromise. The states decided to put aside some of their differences and come together to try to solve the problem of forming another government. Some states floated a new idea. Instead of a government with just one branch, Congress, why not create a government with 3 branches? The new government would have a legislative branch with a Congress to make laws, an executive branch led by a president to carry those laws out, and a judicial branch with courts to interpret the laws. It sounded good, but one major sticking point kept it from moving forward. How many votes does each state get in Congress? Voting in Congress. Yes, it's a big deal. Why? Because some states have a large population and some have a small population. Under the Articles of Confederation, each state got one vote no matter how many people it had. That meant the people in large states had less influence in Congress. Naturally, the large states didn't think this was fair. They thought they should get more votes because they had more people. Small states, however, thought it was a pretty nice deal. Even though they were small, they had the same amount of power and influence as large states. They wanted to keep it a one vote per state system. Battle of the plans. 2 different plans emerged, one favoring the small states and one favoring the large. Can you tell me which is which? Virginia plan, New Jersey plan. We'll start with Virginia. The Virginia plan, each legislative branch had 2 chambers. and the number of votes for each state depended on the state's population. For New Jersey, there was one chamber of legislation, but each state only gets one vote. The Constitution solution. The two sides, the large and small states, finally reached a compromise. The Constitution was the second and final attempt to write a document that would also govern the United States, and we still follow it today. Under the Constitution, Congress is divided into two chambers, the Senate and the House of Representatives. In the Senate, each state gets 2 votes no matter what size it is. This favors the small states. In the House of Representatives, the more people a state has, the more votes it gets. This favors large states. The Constitution also solves some other problems found in the Articles of Confederation. The Articles didn't require states to treat citizens from other states the same as their own citizens, but the Constitution does. The Articles couldn't be changed at all unless states agreed, but the Constitution can be changed if 3/4 of the states agree. The Articles didn't require states to follow the laws Congress passed, but the Constitution says federal laws are superior to state laws. So that concludes the reading portion. Make sure you go back and finish the rest of the lesson for the day.